Since I started Draft League about 1.5 years ago, I always wanted to do one thing. Just prove that I can be the very best like no one ever was. Just like the original Pokemon theme song always told me to do. And in 1.5 years, I haven't even come close to becoming the very best. I can't remember me making any finals whatsoever. I always strand at the semi-finals in the best case scenario. But finally, I did it. I have become the very best. In September this year of 2024, the MBA announced they would be hosting the Harvest Moon tournament as they do every single year around Halloween and Thanksgiving. And this year I decided to participate because Hunch is a good friend of mine. It is kind of his tournament, or at least for his server, the MBA. And the idea behind the Harvest Moon tournament was pretty similar to a Draft League. They decided you can only use 5 core typings of Pokemon: Dark, Bug, Poison, Fairy and Ghost. So basically, if a Pokemon has multiple types or a single type, one of these 5 typings must be in those typings for them to be legal. For example, if I want to use Crocodile, I could, because Crocodile is a dark type. Even though his secondary type, or his second type, doesn't really matter what type is first and what type is second, but the ground type is a additional bonus that you can use. But if I wanted to go for a Empoleon, which is Water and Steel, I could not, because Water and Steel are not one of the 5 typings. Besides that, there were around 30 participants in this league, and they were all added in different groups: the waxing and the waning groups. I believe I was in the waxing tier with 14 other coaches, and yeah, it was basically a snake style draft where we could pick any Pokemon, no points, just get 8 Pokemons, and that is the team that you could use during the entire tournament. So yeah, without any points, it was kind of a different kind of draft experience, but still a very fun one. And they actually added some Uber Pokemons that you normally don't see during a regular draft. Pokemons like Giratina, Genesect, Pheromosa. Basically, if it wasn't too OP, it was allowed in the Harvest Moon tournament. I was 7th or 8th, at least somewhere really down the middle. And when it came, I was hoping to pick up a Giratina because 1, Giratina is awesome, 2, it's very bulky, and 3, my girlfriend loves Giratina. So someone else took that from me, and I basically had 2 options: the Genesect and Pheromosa. And well, let's just have a look what I started off with. Genesect is a Steel and Bug type Pokemon, so because it's part Bug, it was able to be picked up in draft. With amazing offensive powers. With 120 in both attack and special attack, it can be a mixed attacker. Base 99 speed is not the greatest, but still workable with moves like Shift Gear. That made it being able to double its speed stat, and also get a +1 in attack. Its only ability is download, so it gets a attack or special attack boost depending on the Pokemon that's in front of it. If it has a lower defensive boost, defensive stat than special defense, the Genesect would get a attack stat boost, and special attack if the special defense is lower than the defensive stat. Best thing about Genesect at the time was it only had a single weakness in fire. Little did I know, fire is not very uncommon amongst the 5 typings that were draftable. Besides that, a lot of Pokemon get fire type moves, but Genesect gave me a great starting point. I named it Predator after Predator from the Alien vs Predator movie. Because this was pretty close to Halloween, I decided to go with Halloween themed names. So after Genesect, I decided to go for a bit more bulk, and I picked up the Galarian Slowking, aka Jason from Jason Voorhees, who also wears a mask over his face, which I thought was pretty fitting. Glowking gave me Toxic Spikes, Regenerator, which I really liked. Did not do much for my fire weakness, but Chiller Reception was a nice touch, and yeah, pretty happy to pick up Cloaking, as it gave me a lot of options, as well as setting up Trick Room, which for maybe a slow Genesect set at that point, but I would pick up more Pokemon to be able to use Trick Room in their advantage. For example, Primarina, aka Samara from The Ring. Samara isn't all that fast with base 60 speed, but the water and fairy typing is just an amazing type combination, I believe. 2 of the best defensive typings. Well, water is one of the best defensive typings, and fairy is up there, with only having 3 weaknesses, which gives Primarina 3 weaknesses as well. Steel is cancelled out by the water typing, so that's nice. So only the poison, electric and grass weaknesses that it normally has. Offensively, it hits a lot of Pokemon and it has amazing coverage. Combine that with a 126 special attack stat and a 116 SPDF stat. This thing is very bulky, it's a very bulky offensive Pokemon to have, and I'm very happy to pick that up. After this point I realized I really needed to look for a good physical attacker, because all 3 of my Pokemon were mixed attackers at best, and I decided to pick up Zarude, aka Ghostface, from the Scream movies. Ghostface is Zarude, gave me a little bit more speed. 105 was 6 points above Genesect, so that's very nice to have. But that 120 attack stat was just amazing. My first physical attacker with 105 HP and defense. This thing is fairly bulky. 95 special defense is also nothing to laugh at. But the best thing is, Zarude was able to be a Terra Captain. Basically everything that was already too OP, like Genesect, was not allowed to Terra. But Zarude was, and let me say, this thing as a Terra Captain was amazing. I could not use every Terra type. I could only use the 5 Terra types of the Pokemon typings that were allowed in this league. So basically I had Bug, Poison, Ghost, Dark and Fairy for this thing available, but little did I know, those 5 typings were all that I needed. After that we picked up another physical attacker in Freddy's, the Cerulege, named after Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, another great physical attacker with 125 attack, 100 special defense. 85 speed may not look like the greatest speed stat to have, but combine it with a weak armor that basically doubles your attack stat or your speed stat, and this thing is all of a sudden very fast. This also really helped me with the fire type weakness for the Genesect, because this thing has flash fire as an ability. So basically this thing can always switch into a fire type move aimed at the Genesect. And yeah, just having a couple of neat tricks up its sleeve for me to use during this season or this championship. Number 6 was going to be Cleaver, aka Sweeney from Sweeney Todd. Yeah, the barber that slits people's throats, basically. A massive 135 attack stat, but this thing was the first Pokemon not only to be able to get rid of hazards with Defog, but also to set them up with Stone Axe or just regular Stealth Rocks. It has basically 2 amazing abilities in Sharpness and Sheer Force. Sharpness boosts cutting type moves like Stone Axe, Psycho Cut, Leaf Blade, all those kind of moves with a 50% boost, while Sheer Force gives a 30% boost to moves that have a secondary effect, but also cancelling out that secondary effect. For example, Fire Punch has a 10% chance to burn. Sheer Force gives Fire Punch a 30% boost in the power department, but the 10% chance to leave the target burned will drop. In this format also were also Mega Pokemon allowed, and I decided to pick up for my Mega Absol, aka Lucifer. Don't really think I need to explain that, do I? Another great mixed attacker, and with me not having all that much moves to I only have the Defog to get rid of hazards for the Cleaver, so I decided to pick up Mega Absol mainly for its Mega Bounce, Magic Bounce ability, bouncing off the hazards that are fired at Mega Absol and throw them at the opponent's side. Like I said, amazing mixed attacker with 110 speed, 110 max with special attack, and 150 physical attack. Last but not least, I decided to pick up the Ribombee, aka Clarice from Silence of the Lambs. Why Clarice? Because I really couldn't think of another good name for a Ribombee. Yeah, that's mainly why Clarice. Ribombee has an amazing 124 speed stat, making it one of the fastest Pokemons in the entire draft. Yeah, things like Crobat will outspeed it, but yeah, there are not many Pokemon that can outspeed the Ribombee. Base 95 special attack is also very nice, but it won't be the main reason why I picked it up. The main reason is Defog, Sticky Webs, Tailwind, Stun Spore. So basically, this was a supportive set. After this draft of 8 Pokemon, I was thrown into a pool with 5 other coaches, and in this group of 6 we had to battle each other before the end of a period, and the 16 best coaches of all 5 pools would go through. So first I thought the top 2 or 3 of every pool would go through, and that seemed very doable to me. We started off against Morg. He had a pretty scary team with Hisuian Zoroark, Tapu Lele, Sneasler, Hisuian Samurott, Nidoqueen, Mandibuzz, Heatherene and Bisharp. I brought the 6 Pokemon that you see on the screen, and I would say, yeah, let's just see what happened during the battle. I believe I started off with Glowking while he started off with his Hisuian Samurott. I always tanked on Ceaseless Edge, and I set it up Trick Room after getting the Weakness Policy boost. Focus Blast into the in-switching Hatterene did not do much, but I already understand he was going to switch out and stall Trick Room turns. And the Bishop was the most obvious thing to switch into because Poison into Steel does not do anything. And I got that read correct and OHKOing the Bisharp, which was an amazing start for me. After that I decided to go for the Sludge Wave, thinking I already predicted one thing right, let's just hit something that's in front of me. Worst case scenario, I hit the Nidoqueen for not very effective damage, but at least I get the damage off with Jason. But he stayed in and Sludge Wave totally took it out. So an amazing start for Jason here. I misclicked here, clicking Trick Room again, undoing Trick Room. So I switched out. I switched out because, like every pretty sane person, I gave Glowking Regenerator, so at least I got some HP back from that. Went into Genesect to take a Earthquake, which I barely did. Ice Beam was not enough to take it out, and like I said, everything got fire coverage, so yeah, Genesect was done there. Sweeney Todd able to take out the Nidoqueen with a Stone Axe, setting up the rocks on his side of the field. And I switched in here to tank a close combat from the Sneasler, while he gets a White Herb Unburden boost now. But I knew Zarude, as my Terra Poison Captain, was able to take the close combat. I set up Grassy Terrain to get the Grassy Seed boost, and this is probably one of my favorite sets I used during the entire tournament, this Zarude set. Grassy Terrain with the Grassy Seed to boost my defense. While he went for Shadow Claw doing 15%, I went up for a Bulk Up, and after tanking another Shadow Claw, I just took it out completely with Acrobatics. And I believe Ghostface is able to take put a lot of damage out from that point, taking out the Tapu Lele. He was able to take a Ceaseless Edge. The Brickway was just barely missing the kill, taking out the Zarude. But Primarina could come in, take a Ceaseless Edge from a Scarfed Hisuian Samurott, and win the battle for me with the Moonblast, giving me a first battle win. I can't talk about rounds yet because group stage. Good to know. I prepped all my 5 group stage battles in one go and battled everyone after the fact. Oh, yeah, we've seen that. So my second battle from the group stages was against Flap. As you can see, he has a lot of similarities, mainly the Tapu Lele, Terra Sneasler and Hisuian Samurott. But he rounds out his team with the Mega Heracross, Volcarona, Nihilego, Golurk and Brute Bonet. I made an adjustment to the team, or at least these are the 6 Pokemon that I bring. Primarina, Genesect, Ribombee, Glowking, Zarude and the... damn it, Cerulege. Yeah, let's just see what my opponent brings. A Tapu Lele, Mega Heracross, Volcarona, Sneasler, Nihilego and Golurk. I decided to start off with Ribombee against the Volcarona to get Stun Spore off. which already made paralyzed it. I got my sticky webs up, and after setting up the tailwind and him being paralyzed for a second time in 3 turns, which already, yeah, that's just really bad for him, not being able to do anything. I decided to go for the U-turn, get out, and get in my Primarina on the defog. But good to know, because Tailwind is up, Primarina outspeeds basically all Pokemon on his flap side of the field. But I did not do all that much to the Lele with Scald, and if I went for Shadow Ball immediately I would have taken it out, but yeah. Tailwind ended, I switched out, took a Moonblast for my troubles, and Trailblaze from Ghostface was enough to outspeed it, but I did not get my item activated, so Acrobatics just barely misses the kill. Shadow Sneak does take out the Mega Heracross from Cerulege. Samara switching into the Nihilego and taking the kill with a flip turn, which is pretty nice. But with rocks on my side of the field up, Clarice was my defogger this battle, and it gets outspat by Sneasler pretty easily here. And Sneasler is about to take names, because even though I can get a Terra Thunder Wave off to block his Unburden, I still have to deal with a lot of damage that he gives me. And the para here was really unfortunate because, yeah, as you can see, he can take me out now because I moved before him. Thank you, Thera, of paralysis. I went for the Rock Polish because I really needed that up to clean, which I could not do. Luckily, to save a bit of differential, he got paralyzed against the Primarina, so I lose 3-0 instead of 4-0. But my second battle against Flap made me go 1-1. Flap battled Mork right after, and Mork won that. So we started off with 3 people, 1-1, with pretty much differential being the same, which was pretty funny to me. Battle number 3 was against Joey, aka Lies of J. This is a team that, with Pokemon I haven't faced, Spectrio, Weavile, Tinkaton, Buzzwole, Gengar, Terra Captain, Galarian Moltres, Drapion and Whimsicott. A lot of speed with Gengar, Whimsicott and Spectrier. A lot of hard-hitting Pokemons with Spectrier, Weavile, Buzzwole, Gengar and Galarian Moltres. Strong defensive core with Tinkaton, Buzzwole, Drapion. And with me bring Primarina, Genesect, Ribombee, first time Mega Absol, Zarude and Cerulege, I tried to take Joey on. So, he brought the Spectrier, Gengar, Whimsicott, Tinkaton, Galarian Moltres and Drapion, with Galarian Moltres I believe being Terra Fairy, as you can see here. Well, my Zarude is also Terra Fairy. I may have forgotten sometimes that I have to post the Terra types. Yeah, it's not something really all that serious or bad, but mainly annoying to be reminded during the battle of, oh yeah, you need to post the Terra types. Oops. But let's see. I started off against this Galarian Moltres with Ribombee, and I was able to paralyze it while it sets up an agility. So basically this means I was outspeeding. I clicked U-turn into the Zarude while he went for an agility again. I got off my Terra Fairy and take it out with Terra Blast. An amazing start for me because his Terra Captain is gone while my Terra Captain was set up to take on things like Whimsicott a bit easier because No more for a fairy weakness for me, but I decided to switch out into Lucifer while he sets up a substitute. And I went for Calm Mind against his substitute, which might surprise you, but I have Air Slash, and this way I was able to take a special Whimsicott on pretty solidly. So he decided to switch out into Tinkaton on my Air Slash, which was a fine decision. I expected to fake out, went into Cerulege. He knocked off my Charcoal, but he activates my weak armor, while I'll go for a Swords Dance. And now I have a Cerulege with double speed and double attack, and there is nothing without priority that can outspeed me. And I believe that's why he went into Drapion. Bitterblade was not able to take it out, and here I feared the Sucker Punch. It was so obvious for him to go for a Sucker Punch here. Even though I was set up very nicely to sweep, I decided to switch out because with a lower defense I did not take it on very well. He went for Crunch, showing me that he probably did not have Sucker Punch. And I knew I would live a Fire Fang because of the Bitterblade damage. I saw this was a defensive Drapion, fully Fist Death, so he could not kill me with a Fire Fang. So I went for the Iron Head, taking out the Drapion, and now I was pretty much set for a Cerulege sweep. I let Fake Out take me out, so I had a safe switch into Cerulege. I set up a Swords Dance, and I Shadow Sneak the Gengar, I Shadow Sneak the Spectrier, and that's pretty much game, set and match for me, because yeah, his knockoff is doubling my speed again. Bitterblade not only takes out the Tinkaton, it almost heals me up completely, and Whimsicott can only use Switcheroo on me to give me the Iron Ball. Maybe he should have done that before going out into the Tinkaton, but I mean at that point it was whatever. So a very demanding win for me, not only giving me a 2-1 overall record, but also boosting my differential with 5 points, which is very nice. Next up we played against Coconut, coach of the Heavy Booty Dudes. Not Heavy Duty Boots, Heavy Booty Dudes. Great name for a Halloween themed Pokemon team. Chienpo, Glowking, Primarina, also a Terrazarud, Pilosend, Toxtricity, Bramblegast and Hisuian Quillfish. I don't know about what you guys think, but he drafted Glowking, Primarina and Zarud in the exact same order, in the exact same rounds. I mean, boy got taste, gotta say that. Pretty scary team. We bring Cleavorth, I believe, for the second time this season. And Zarud, Genesect, Rabombi, Cerulege and Mega Absol round out the team. So let's see what Coconut starts off with. He brings the Chienpo, Zarud, Glowking, Primarina, Toxtricity and Bramblegast. I did not bring the Glowking nor the Primarina, but it is a Zarud versus Zarud matchup. So that's also very nice. His Bramblegast starts off against my Zarud. I get my Terra Poison off, go for Sunny Day while he goes for a Skitter Smack, hoping to get that 4 times effective hit off against me. Okay, not sure why it starts over again, but whatever. Sunny Day, Skitter Smack. And now I can click against his whatchamacallit, Darkest Lariat, but not doing much into the Zarud, of course. He went for Terra Poison as well, but I expected him to click that, and I went for the Stomper Tantrum. I get knocked my Heat Rock off, and the idea was with this Sunny Day set to get, I believe this route, a growth up. I knock off the Custard Berry with Mega Absol from the Primarina, taking a Moonblast, and with Terra Blast I was able to take it out. I have one more turn of Sun into the Qianpao, and I decided to let Ghostface go down because nothing really wanted to switch in. That Scarfed Cleaver does some nice damage into his eject button Glow King, giving me mainly rocks for free. He went for the Rapid Spin on my Cerulege because I expected him to go for that, and with a Focus Sash I hang on, get my speed boost, and basically kill that thing with a Bitter Blade. So rocks were up to stay this battle. I have my speed doubled, so I thought just go for damage and get more HP back. He brings out his Zarude while I have my speed doubled, but I decided to switch out into Rabombi, tanking the knockoff. Duskstone was because I wanted to take something from him, but also not giving my opponent something beneficial. I was worried if I gave myself a Sticky Barb, Lagging Tail, it would hinder myself too much. So I decided, let's just give something completely useless to my opponent, instead of giving it something that might hinder it, but also might hinder myself. That's why I run Duskstone. Why the Duskstone? Because Halloween! Yeah, basically that's the only reason Duskstone. Sounds really random, and it is, but still. He went for the Swords Dance, while I decided to go for the Tailwind, and I took his leftovers while he knocked me out, so he did not have recovery at that point. Genesect came in, Techno Blasted that thing with the Techno Blast, I believe electric? Not really sure, I think it was. Yeah, but Genesect being very low on HP was a simple switch in for his Qianpao. But at this point I click Night Slash on the Glow King, taking it out. Toxtricity came in. I could always live one of his attacks. I decided to go for the Night Slash to take that thing out as well. If he went for a Shift Gear, I was all good because even Max Special Attack Modest could not take me out, as you saw with the Overdrive. So yeah, at that point it was Qianpao against 3 of my mons. I decided to sack off the Mega Absol to the Ice Shard. That damage confirmed it was Choice Bandit, so I could switch in the Cerulege. The weak armor was unnecessary, a Bitter Blade would take it out. And at this point I was 3-1, and I was like, okay, with 3-1 I almost am certain no one will there's no way that I won't end up lower than 3rd in the group, and in my head that meant I was safe for the next round, which was pretty great. So I went into the battle with Shiv Kebab, and yeah, let's just start talking about Shiv's team, because he has also a Genesect, just like I do, but he got a completely different support all around him. A Terra, Basculegion, a Namorous Incarnate, Dragalge, Mega Houndoom, a Selgor, Grafia, and Gorgeist. I gotta say, this is a battle I am pretty embarrassed about, and I'll tell you why afterwards, okay? As you can see, very short battle, 52 seconds. It starts off pretty well with Final Gambit taking him out and me down to my Sash. Mega Houndoom comes in. I decided to click Sticky Webs on his Nasty Plot, and I miss my Stun Spore. And after this point I was completely and utterly done at this point, because every freaking thing gets O code. So, I misplayed with clicking Stun Spore. Let's look at it again. Around this point. If I went for the Tailwind at this point, I could have switched into Primarina, and Primarina had an Oko with Surf. After that point, I had my sticky webs up, so besides Enamorous, everything will be slowed down. So the Basque Legion and the Genesect were all pretty much slow. And how do I know? Shiv and I decided to replay the game, and he let me use Tailwind in this turn, and I've beaten him 4-0, I believe, after that. So yeah, I made a terrible mistake, but luckily it did not cost me my spot in the knockout stages. At this point, all 16 coaches were dropped in one big pot, and everyone had a 1 in 6 or 1 in 15 chance to draw a random coach, no matter if you were in the same group or not. So, who do I get for my round of 16 battle? Next. Flap. You know, my first loss in the group. Yay. So, I decided to throw things, shuffle things up for this battle. And I again had some great sets, in my opinion. We start off with Cleaver against his Golurk. I went for the knockoff, just because I thought it would do a lot of damage. But with Colbur it did just 29%, and yeah, that's not all that much. But he decided to go for Poltergeist, and this I expected. Well, not only did I expect it, I also did bring Acrobatics again on this thing, and without an item, Acrobatics automatically gets the boost, but also Golurk could not use Poltergeist, so I felt very safe to click Knockoff in that first turn. Second turn I set up an Agility, thinking he could not do much against me, but he has Dynamic Punch. No guard Dynamic Punch. I do get my Stone Axe off, does pretty okay damage. Earthquake takes me down very low. Acrobatics barely misses the kill, and he gets the kill with the Dynamic Punch. Here I thought, well, Primarina has 10 more base points. What are the odds that he is max speed? He needed to be very speed investment to outspeed my Primarina, which he was! So I could have gone to 4 other Pokemon that outspeed a Golurk no matter what. I decided to risk it and take a lot of damage in the process. So Zarude came out against his Heracross, because last time his Heracross took on my Zarude pretty easily, but that was when Zarude was already pretty much down. And here comes a little bit of prep in play. I Terra to a Poison type, Trailblaze, so I know I outspeed him. He went for the Trailblaze again, also because he needed speed to outspeed me. Not just the Zarude, but everything on my team, basically. What did I bring? I ate my Jaboka berry. Jaboka does do a 1/8 of the max HP of if my Pokemon gets hit by a physical move. With this thing being down to 65% and me outspeeding, Acrobatics takes it out cleanly. And I felt amazing at that point, because not only did my plan work, I now had a +1 Ghost Phase against his team. And only his Tapu Lele could do damage to me because I'm a poison type. So I click Acrobatics and it does surprisingly little. And Psyshock just takes me out. But I was like, okay, no worries, I got Predator with a Douse Drive. I use Flash Cannon and the thing is gone. In comes the Sneasler. And again, I prepped my Genesect so I can always live a neutral close combat from the Sneasler, which is the most amount of damage he could do against me with that same Psychic Seed Sneasler set. So I take the close combat and the Psychic cleanly takes it out because he could not run Focus Sash because rocks would destroy that sash. And yeah, I was feeling pretty good at this point. Nihilego took me out and that was something that was somewhat scary, but again, Focus Sash, Shadow Claw, and keeping track of the Psychic terrain, I knew one Shadow Sneak could take it out, and Volcarona took a lot of damage there. Shadow Sneak takes him down even further, and I knew Primarina would take the fire move and take it out. And that meant I went into the round of 8th, the quarterfinals, I believe, already. Yes? Yeah, the quarterfinals, which was pretty amazing to me. In the quarterfinals we played Danka's dad, coach of the CBUS Phoebus. Chi-Yu, Annihilate, Mega Venusaur, Azumarill, Tinkaton, Muckalola, Buzzwole, Terra Captain, and Gardevoir. Damn, this team has a lot of bulk in Mega Venusaur, Muk, Buzzwole, and Tinkaton, but also a lot of physical threat or of offensive threats in Chi-Yu, Annihilate, Azumarill, Mega Venusaur, Buzzwole, and Gardevoir. So, yeah. Me bringing Ribombee, Primarina, Kleavor, Glowking, Zarude, and Genesect. As you may have noticed, I've brought 2 Pokemon so far to every single game. Genesect and Zarude. They really are the backbone of this team during this tournament. So let's see what Danka's dad brought into my team. Chi-Yu, Mega Venusaur, Muk, Alola, the Annihilate, Buzzwole, and Gardevoir. So I decided to start off against Primarina against Gardevoir with Primarina. I take a Moonblast pretty easily, but I do get the Spadef special attack drop, which is pretty annoying. He decided to switch out. I went for the flip turn, basically to get so I can get the momentum. I knew he probably would switch out because he was barely doing any damage and I did much more damage to him. So I decided to go for Kleavor against his Mega Venusaur. He brings out the Buzzwole to take a Stone Axe from me. He is Rocky Helmet, but I went for Dual Wing Beat, being 4 times effective against it. But he brings me down to half health because of Rocky Helmet. He misses the Toxic, which is great for me. And the Psycho Cut takes it out cleanly. This move screamed to me, his Gardevoir is going to be Scarf. Not only did he switch out into Primarina after he saw I don't do much damage, I also was able to calc he did not have a attacking boosting item. So Scarf Gardevoir made a lot of sense to me. With Sweeney being down half health, I decided I better switched out into Glowking because I took the Psychic pretty well. He went into the Muck. I went for the Mud Shot. Another very fun bring, at least I think, because at this point I believe I should be outspeeding a Alolan Muck if he has no speed investment. I still went out for the Genesect just to be sure. He went for the knockoff, knocking off my leftovers. Iron Head does a lot, but again, everything has fire coverage these days. I went into Cleavor. His Shadow Sneak was not enough to take me out. I went for the U-turn just to take it out and get Rebombian very safe into his Mega Venusaur. I just went for the U-turn, not to take any Poison Type damage because Glow King could take those, and he misses a Leech Seed. Second time he has some bad luck. First Toxic Mix on the from the Buzzball, now the Leech Seed miss. It's just very unfortunate. He switches into the Chi-Yu. Well, I'll Thunder Wave it. I was like, I can live a single Dark Pulse. So I went for another Mud Shot, taking it down very low, because it was Mud Shot was the best offensive move that I could have brought for this thing. And also it's just nice to have a move to lower speed for things like a God of War switching in and such. So that's why I clicked the Mud Shot into the Chi-Yu. He must recharge, so I already thought, okay, this thing is specs. I go into Primarina, take another Hyper Beam, and Surf just plain as simply takes it out. Mega Venusaur comes in. I let Samara go down because low HP, and a free switch into Cleavor. First I went for dual Wing Beat, but that did not do enough damage. So I decided to go for the Psycho Cut, which did a bit more. And it had a chance to crit. Or let me say a higher chance to crit. Basically, I believe the chance of a Psycho Cut crit is taken from 8% to 25%. So yeah, it's a pretty big chance to hit that. He brings it out God of War again, basically confirming at this point it is Scarf. Moonblast does not do enough against me, so I can freely click Thunder Wave to negate the Scarf effect. Chilly Reception out into the Cleavor, so I know I outspeed. I click Stone Axe to take that thing out. Annihilate comes in. I went for the Psycho Cut, doing massive damage. He went for the Bulk Up, but I already saw I outspeeded, so I can click Psycho Cut again and put myself into the semi-finals. And at this point I already had a little bit of a feeling into the quarterfinals from like, I can actually go take this all the way. Now I am in the semi-finals and we face off against Drew, the coach of the Long Island Lucarios. His team consists of Urshifu Single Strike, that's a dark type, Terra Tinglu, which is annoying. Just so, this thing is already so hard to hit, and give it a Terra type, and dear God, just dear God. Clefable, Glimora, Grimmsnarl, or Mega Altaria, because Fairy, Jellicent, and Gen Mega. I bring the Rebombi, Primarina, Mega Absol, Glowking, Zarude, and my Genesect. Things I remember from these sets. I bring another Trick Room Glowking set in combination with Primarina. And I bring Parish Song, Mega Absol. And both of these things come to play in this battle, I believe. He decides to bring Urshifu, Tinglu, Terra Poison, Clefable, Jellicent, Glimora, and his Mega Altaria. I was very happy not to have to deal with Prankster Grimmsnarl with screens. And Yamaga is very annoying, as I've seen in the STR Season 2, so glad not to have to face that. Tinglu starts off against my Mega Absol, which is nice because Mega Absol can Mega Evolve and block all his hazards. Primarina switches into his Mega Altaria, tanking a return. I am being brought down to low, but my Moonblast is taking out the Mega Altaria already. Urshifu is able to take me out with the Trailblaze, boosting his speed. But Ribombee is scarfed, and even though he is a Roselli Berry, I still Oko that thing. At this point we remember, oh yeah, we need to announce our Terra captains. Well, he shows he is Sticky Barb on his Clefable. He went into Tinglu. I wanted to scout, so I went for Protect. That's the beauty of Paris Trap, because I can see what he wanted to go for. The switch into Genesect on the Moonblast was pretty easy to make. He went into Jellicent, a very annoying Jellicent set, because this thing is Will-O-Wisp and Hex. Yeah, let me just play this out, because I can flinch it, fair, but I don't do any damage because I'm burned. And well, I'll be able to boost my attack stat a little bit. He went for Hex after going for Recover, and I slowly died to the burn. Maybe I was a bit impatient here, but yeah, it is what it is. I bring in Zarude to take on the Jellicent with the Power Whip and completely wipe it out. Thank God that thing is gone. Stomping Tantrum takes care of Glamora. Even though he gets the Toxic Spikes up, I can Terra Fairy, Power Whip the Clefable. He went for the trick, taking my Assault Vest. And at this point, it's Tinglu versus 4 of my Pokemon, but again, this thing is so annoying. Earthquake does do decent damage, Stomping Tantrum does a lot. But only because I missed my Power Whip. And now I find out I am going down to 1%. Stomping Tantrum barely misses the kill, and he has Rest. And as I say, that's annoying at this point. But I could have won this battle a lot faster. I went for Stomping Tantrum here. Great play. He went for Rest. He went for Rest again. If I switch to Mega Absol and go for Paris Song, this battle is over. But I did not. I decided to go. I completely forgot that I had Paris Song, and I waste everyone's time here. Almost throwing the battle in the end. Power Whip in the hope that I miss and get a Stomping Tantrum boost, but I hit them and he wakes up and sets up Stealth Rocks. I'm going for Stomping Tantrum and he decided to get Spikes up. And yeah, no crit, so he goes back to sleep, and here I finally decide, Ribombee, get rid of these hazards. Which he does pretty well, might I add. Yeah, I switch into Mega Absol because I thought, okay, he's probably gonna set up rocks again. I bounce them back, and I finally get the Paris Song off. But I can't protect myself from the Earthquake. Psychic does not do all that much, and Earthquake takes Clarice down to where Poison takes it out. Oh, this is getting close. Zarude has 1%, so I went for Stomping Tantrum, getting taken out by the Earthquake. And here was like, I hope I live, and I do. And I forgot I was Trick Room with weakness policy. So again, I could have won this battle way earlier in 2 different ways, with the Glow King and the Paris Trap. In the end, it didn't matter. We made finals, and as you can imagine, I was very hyped to finally have made finals. We take on Bonier, coach of the French Biters Association. He went for a full biting team. Mega Marwell, aka PD Piranha Plant, because, yeah, very bitey. Gengar as a Terra Captain, has a nice set of teeth. Crocodile as a Crocodile. Crobat as a bat. Vikavolt has some big chompers just like Drapion. Guslord is very well known for eating. And Durant, yeah, a steel chomper. My final team consists of Ribombee, Primarina, Kleavor, Cerulege, Zarude and Genesect as well. So, my final battle against Bonier. I started off again with Zarude against his Crobat. I immediately Terra, so I don't get 4 times weak 4 to his U-turn. I set up Swords Dance. Stomping Tantrum takes a lot of damage for the Drapion. I Rock Slide in case he went into his Crobat to take no damage. I live an Earthquake and take this thing out cleanly with the close combat. So Zarude already punching a big hole in his team. Yeah, nice thing. I was doing this battle without recording it, so my girlfriend knew I was doing the final but was doing something else, and I got a weird look when I shouted "Monkey time!" with my arms in the air because Zarude got 2 kills. But yeah, Gengar is naturally outspeeding Zarude, so I did not know if this was scarfed or not, but yeah, this pretty much confirms it. Well, I'll go for the Surf into his Crobat. Roost. If I went for the Psychic Noise, I would have been fine, not taking Brave Bird damage, but I did not, so I still took it out. Still have a very commanding lead. He went for Honkloss. I knew I couldn't let this thing set up, because otherwise it would do a lot of damage, and I did not have a lot of things to really deal with it. So I went for Surf, knowing it would take it out if he went for setup. And I get the prediction right, and I was like, oh, I'm so close. Damn, I'm so close. The Iron Head takes me out, but that's okay because I have other things. For example, I have Endure Zarude. And he has Sucker Punch. Okay. Here I just went for damage, trying to stall out his Sucker Punches, getting taken out. Okay. And here I could have ended it if I did not went for the Flamethrower, but if I went for the Shift Gear, because this is Scarfed Gengar, which will always outspeed me, but if I get to +2, I will outspeed. But I was afraid if I did not go for the Flamethrower there, I would not be able to take out... he would be doing too much damage for me to take a Crunch and a Sucker Punch after that. So I went for the safe play, went for Flamethrower, get a huge burn on the special Gengar. I decided to get in Kleavor, basically sack this thing because it was not doing anything in this matchup, and I could take it out with Cerulege, Shadow Sneak. I again went for the Endure, really wanting the weakness policy and weak armor boost, and he went for Sucker Punch, and I finally get this thing up and ready to sweep. I almost threw there, but in the end I was able to be victorious, and I finally win my first tournament. These 8 champions and me finally did it. Ribombee, Zarude, Cloaking, Primarina, Genesect, Mega Absol, Kleavor and the Cerulege. We are crowned champion of the Harvest Moon 2024 competition in the MBA. Some nice stats. Genesect and Zarude both came to 9 games. Zarude only Pokemon to end in the double figure number of kills. Primarina being second with 9 kills. Cerulege and Cleaver getting 8th. Genesect 6. Cloaking 3. Ribombee 1 and Mega Absol without a single kill. I think Genesect is the highest in number of games and deaths with 8 deaths to 9 games. Zarude being close second with 7 deaths in 9 games, but yeah, in the end we have become champion. I hope, of course, I can repeat this after in a regular draft league. And some may say, well, does this really count? It's a off-season tournament. And I say, yes, damn it. I played my ass off during this off-season tournament, and I do have a off-tournament champion role in Discord in the MBA now, so yes, this really counts for me. I am very happy to say I am finally the very best, like no one ever was. I did it. Again, I do hope to win a regular tournament as well. Who knows? Who knows? I am currently doing very well in the PPDL, so maybe I can win that. The Burn Tower Draft League is starting pretty soon. Maybe I can win that. We'll have to see. But for now, I am a champion. I am very happy with what I accomplished, and I hope you are as well. So if you like this, leave a thumbs up down below. If not, all good. I hope you have a good one, and yeah, raise your glass for the champion, because I am very happy. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good one. See you in the next one. Bye!